What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and happy Halloween to everybody out there. That's right, on this day, it's Halloween, spooky scares everywhere, and I was never really a Lucius fan until today. It might have changed because they buffed him up so freaking much that he's a top tier damage dealer now. And I know you guys are all going to be excited about hearing about that. Liliths weren't as good, but they're not too shabby, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to talk about Lucius first, and let me tell you, you guys know how much I didn't really care for him too much in the beginning. A lot of people fought for him. They really liked his look. They liked his kit. I just didn't think it was as powerful, but it has changed tremendously here with these ability awakenings and these changes to his kit, taking him from having some of the least used type of chaining families to going to some of the most used, and even bringing Divine Ruination into the mix, which we knew was kind of going to start happening in Global because of the Kingdom Hearts Sephiroth changes. So moving on down, he has a plethora of different things to awaken, and I'll go over a little of them here. So we have Dusk Barrage and then Dawn Barrage. These two abilities are kind of the same thing, one being imbuing of dark, one being imbuing of the fire element. I would pick one of these two because you are going to start running out. Well, it depends on you. If you're a super farmer, you can do both. But look at your team, see which one you're going to be doing more, fire chaining or dark chaining. And then if you end up needing the other one, then enhance it later. But pick one of these two. It's going to be in the rotation to imbue yourself with an element. So pick whichever one you want to get. And it enhances, first off, it's damage, and then it also made it Divine Ruination, so you can actually chain with it, which is fantastic. Next up is Demon Chemistry. Chance to counter physical attacks and magic attacks, and then increase attack 50%. The increased attack 50% is what you're going for here. Countering is also a good thing, but you really want that high attack stat always. You want anything that's going to, if you're using an attacker, you want anything that can put that attack stat up, so that's something you're going to be putting on. And then also, if he ends up being able to smack the opponent around by getting some of that extra damage in. It's not going to be the most damage in the world, but it's also added damage, so I would increase that as well. I don't really see the point of increasing Piercing Barrage or Cleaving Barrage to me, because I'm going to be using a different kind of chaining, which is going to be Crushing Barrage down here, the Bolting Strike family. Now, it's going to be up to you and which one you want to do here, if you want to end up doing these, but I definitely don't see a choice for Cleaving Barrage, simply because we're going to get an ability down the road that's a cooldown ability that's going to imperil much more than this, so you're never really going to be using Cleaving Barrage. And Piercing Barrage, again, Divine Ruination, but I would be going with the Crushing Barrage. Turns into Bolting Strike, which I know a lot of people out there love the BS chaining, and at 13 times modifier, this is going to be like the main one you like triple cast, because he does get triple cast down the road. So I would be enhancing this one. But again, if you love Lucius, if you have a million Christ, a lot of Gil, go ahead and enhance whatever you want. All of these are amazing. You can see how the numbers just are getting larger and larger with each of these, and we haven't even hit the biggest numbers he can do yet. Looking at Unholy Strength, gives him the increased chain modifier 6 times with dual wielding, so he ends up getting true dual wield on top of the fact, up to 100% on top of the fact he upgrades his LB, which his LB gets better, and he gets that nice 6 times chaining modifier up that most of the true dual wielders now in Global have, which increases his damage even more. You see his LB damage goes up. I'm telling you guys, all of this stuff is sweet. Everything you do to this guy, there are a few I've talked about, but they did everything you'd want in a unit when it comes to him, which is absolutely blowing my mind, honestly. I thought they would just kind of give him a little bit and move on, but with these Halloween units, we have Godria, we have the Werewolf, and now we have, I think it's Carton, right? And then now we have Lucius, which they're all like the top damage dealers in Global right now. I'm telling you guys, these guys are the top damage dealers. Now, of course, we have King Rain coming next week, but it's absolutely insane the diversity we can have with the units in a way, but also hurts because if they don't have really good chaining families, and I'm looking at you, Assassin Shadow, he's actually pretty good after his buffs as well, but I mean, look at these chaining families, Bolting Strike, Divine Ruination. You're going to see that a lot more often than you would be if you're looking for the other chaining family that Assassin Shadow has. So anyway, moving on from that, we have Immortal Demon. This is one you're definitely going to want to get up as well. Becomes available in turn 3, 3-turn cooldown, an auto revive 10% HP on yourself for 2 turns. Okay, recover 10,000 HP, which probably won't even be all your HP at this point, but maybe it will, depending on how like squishy you build them. Increase resist to attack, defense, magic, and spirit break 100%. Physical damage 40 times. It is massive, dude. And if you're using True Duel, this thing's gonna hit twice, baby. It's gonna hit twice and do so much damage. And it's Divine Ruination chaining, so it's gonna be able to chain up too. It is fantastic. This is a great ability. So you're going to be casting that on cooldown every time you can, all right? That's going to be great for you. Moving on down, we do have Aggressive Presence. Available on turn 5, 5-turn cooldown. Increase attack 300% to yourself. Recover MP 300. Increase LB gauge 12 to caster. And then physical damage 22 times to all enemies. You can see that it gets rid of the bad things that would be going on for it when you increase it, so that it doesn't like hurt yourself or it doesn't make your defensive spirit worse. Divine Ruination chaining. You don't want to be casting this too, in my opinion. You're going to be weaving it into your rotation. You can see it attack 300% increase, get your MP back, put your LB gauge up, and do actually a ton of damage too with a 22 times modifier. Yes, please. I'm going to be casting that as well. Moving on down, we have another ability called Dark Commandment. Enables Dark Frenzy +2. Dark Frenzy +2 is going to be able to allow you to cast abilities 3 times in a turn, so he does get triple cast with this. Increases modifiers 2 times to Cleaving Barrage, Crushing Barrage, Frenzied Rush, and Rupture. Increases modifier 1 times to Piercing Barrage. Increases modifier 3.6 times to Blood Moon Barrage. Recover 5% per turn. Enhance this, obviously. You're obviously going to be enhancing this, getting a bunch of modifiers increase on your dude, some MP recovery, and the the awesome 3 times cast down here, which is great. And then we have Demonic Barrage right here. Physical damage 8 times to all enemies. Divine Ruination. And these are conditional. I do believe this goes off of his was it the counter? Demonic Barrage, yeah. So this is his counter ability. It's not the highest modifiers in the world, but it's also not the lowest. I mean, 8 times is actually pretty good. So definitely looking, that's just part of that one if you do want to end up enhancing it, which I think you should because of the 50% attack. So God, he's just so strong. And we're not even done yet because they gave him latent abilities, and both of these latent abilities are amazing. You're going to be coming in here popping out all that enlightenment points to get these things bad boys up. So we have Crimson Destiny, and then we have Midnight Corruption. So Crimson Destiny is going to give him attack and HP 30%. Going to give him 50% Human Killer or Man-Eater. Autocast Crimson Destiny 2 at the start of battle or after being revived, and then also increases Dark Resist 100%, which is fantastic when you have to deal with dark damage. Looking at what Crimson Destiny is when it's fully enhanced, is you're going to start the battle or when you get revived with an attack buff of 150%. That may come in handy down the road if he would, get killed or something. Normally you are going to buff that a little bit more through other abilities, or it may be a friend unit, but it's good to have that just in case. And all the other perks, the attack and HP 30%, making it more tanky, do more damage, and then the 50% Human Killer and the Dark Resist. Definitely want that. And then we have Midnight Corruption, which is going to be his go-to move for imperiling, right? And it also does damage, just massive damage, 16 times modifier. It's great. Available on turn 1, 5-turn cooldown. Decrease fire and dark resist 100% for 5 turns to one enemy, and doing some physical damage with Divine Ruination chaining. So that's why I'm saying don't enhance that other one that goes up to, I think 65% for Dark and Fire, because this is the one you're going to use. It's a 5 turns to one enemy, and it's a 5-turn cooldown. You're going to use this off a cooldown and go ham with it, okay? And that's why it's so great. He enables himself to imbue himself with fire or dark, so if you end up not putting a weapon on him, or you can't, that doesn't have fire or dark on it, you can use that ability to imbue yourself. You're going to be able to triple cast your big striking abilities. You're going to be able to go in and use these cooldown abilities that do massive damage 40 times. This one puts up your attack by 300%, 22 times. It's insane what they did to him, man. I'm very excited. And then that's not it. That's not everything. Because remember, he did get an LB upgrade. So we need to go down and look at his LB right here. It's going to cost you guys 30 of the LB Crest. Increase attack 250% for 3 turns the caster. So if the 300% has fallen off, or you don't have that up, you have the 250% here. 38 times to one enemy. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's not, it's not outrageous. There are a lot of people out there that have high level LBs, but this is one of the top ones right here that he's going to be doing a lot of damage with. Lucius is absolutely insane at this point. I am definitely considering building him when I never did ever before, because again, he's one of the top damage dealers in the game now. All I can think of now is Berserker Barrage. Like, in my mind now, for some reason, I see Lucius. I think, power makes me think about a unit more, and now I'm just thinking about him as Wolverine, dude. Just out there's Wolverine. Should have had a Wolverine. We should get a costume for the Halloween unit that's Wolverine. They never do it. Marvel wouldn't let him do it, but it would be sick. Berserker Barrage, and he would just say that over and over again. I think it'd be awesome. But guys, seriously, if you like Lucius, if you were thinking about using him or you were still using him, praise be to you, praise be to Yevon. This guy is absolutely astonishingly OP now, and you should enhance him with the way I said, because he's going to do tons of damage. All right, guys, moving on to Lilith. Now, I'm not saying that Lilith doesn't get some good perks for upgrading, because I think all units do, but Lilith is not on the same scale as what Lucius was just now, as far as making her super top tier, Omega Lol damage, Omega Lol tanking support goddess, right? A lot of people love to use Lilith in the arena, and she's going to become better at doing that, but for me, it's just arena's like a side thought, so for you guys, arena fans out there that love Lilith for that, it's going to get better for you. As far as tanking, she doesn't become the best. She doesn't become even, I would say, the second or third best in my opinion, but she's still extremely powerful, and with these changes you can do a lot. So with the Kiss of Dusk or Kiss of Dawn, this is going to be fire or dark damage with spirit scaling, and you get a higher imperil up to 80% on either dark or fire, and then you get a little bit more of a charm percentage up to 30%, which is actually pretty high, but again, it's just not something for me that I'm going to be messing with if I was using her. Strictly, I don't know, if you need to use her as your Imperialer, that's really good, right? But the problem you're going to find with Lilith is she's not going to be able to double cast or triple cast or any of that stuff with her abilities, so it's really going to conflict with what I think she should have been able to do if she had that ability to do that. Now we look on down, we have Counter Curse, increases resist to all the breaks and charms for 100% for 4 turns, so all allies is an amazing ability. It adds the charm if you enhance it, and then on top of that, it adds mitigate magic damage taken 30% for 4 turns to all allies, which is a huge upgrade from what it was before. Remove all debuffs from yourself, cure all status elements from yourself. So essentially, this is a great support ability that she has, and it's one that I would enhance if I was using her as my magic cover tank, strictly because of all of the support that it brings to your squad. That is a big number when it comes to mitigate magic damage taken, which is awesome, on top of, you know, putting up the resist to those breaks and that charm. So this is one I would definitely enhance. Moving on down, we have Demonic Guard. Chance to protect all allies from physical damage 80%, with damage taken 50 to 70% for 4 turns to caster. Increased defense 130% for 4 turns to caster. Cure break to caster. So if you would like, you can use her as a physical cover tank, it looks like, instead of just being a magic cover tank with these upgrades here. But again, there are a lot of people out there who you probably already have filling this role. But it's up to you. There's just an option that you can use. It makes her more, you know, it makes her portfolio more open to what things she could be doing for you. Her magical guard right here, chance to protect all allies from magic damage 80% for 4 turns. The caster increases 130. So it's pretty much the same buff that the other one had, and increased in turns, which is great because the more turns you have covering, the more time you have to do her other support abilities or her damage dealing abilities, and it gets rid of any breaks that she has on her for either spirit or defense. So depending on which one you're going to be using, which I would be going with magical, I would enhance this, yes, because of the more turns going up. The increase the spirit 130 is actually pretty good, but again, you may have somebody out there buffing higher than that, so it may not be anything too crazy to be looking into. Next up, we have Dusk Lash and Dawn Lash. These are going to be Bolting Strike chaining families, which is awesome. And then it's going to be for Dark and then Fire again. It's going to decrease fire resist 90% for 5 turns to 1 enemy. So let's see what the top one was. Was that AoE? All enemies. Yes, for 3 turns to all enemies, or you can go with 1 turn, 1 enemy, excuse me, for 5 turns with a much higher imperil. So I think if you're going to pick between the two, I would go with this one. I understand that a lot of there are sometimes out there you do want to AoE imperil, but I'd be going with this one for several reasons. One, it looks like a 12 times modifier here as compared to a 10 times modifier. Divine Ruination's chaining Bolting Strike is much more common in my opinion now. Divine Ruination is going back up there, as we just saw. They're going to start using Divine Ruination more. Bolting Strike and Divine Ruination are some of the easiest chaining families to do. I'm always chaining with my hands. I don't have a machine do it for me, but these are 2 that I can pop off easily and spark chain very often, so it's really good to see them coming out there. We have A-Ray chaining coming in here. Inflict charm 40%, fire and dark damage mixed up 12 times all enemy, heal yourself and recover MP to yourself. Again, the HP recovery, doing a little bit of damage here is great, but nothing too insane that I'd be too crazy to go after. If you're trying to somehow cheese a boss and charm the boss, this could be an option for you. 40%. Hey, it's almost a coin flip at this point, so not the worst thing in the world. Moving on down, we have Dream Chemistry. Let's see all the things that have changed here. We get increase the spirit and HP 60%, so you're definitely going to do it, right? Because you want to make her more tanky. And then we have increased modifiers to some of her other abilities that she uses, and her LB has gotten upgraded, so we'll have to check out that as we move down. And then Dream Melding, which is, I guess, the one of the abilities that can happen from Dream Chemistry. Inflict charm 50%. So here's a coin flip one that you can do.
Magic damage 2.4 times to scaling to all enemies. Increase LB gauge fill rate 100% to all allies. Divine Ruination chaining. So again, I mean, she is a succubus, right? So they're going with the charm. They're going with this, but I don't really see using that charm stuff in the game very much, to be honest. So they focused a lot on raising up her charm of things when I think they should have been focusing on raising up her defense, spirit, HP stats. You know what I mean? To make her more tanky. Give her some kind of like triple cast that kind of outside the window. Some kind of double cast, something to cast all these abilities at once, because she has this right here where she uses Serpent Tails, which is her damage dealing abilities, but she's not going to be able to use like her cooldown abilities all at once. Her, along with, let's see, she is unable to also cast these twice with that as well. So her tanking side isn't getting better here, and that's what in my opinion, that's what I really wanted. Now, some of you guys maybe be like, shut up, Claic. I like to use her for damage. I like to use her in an arena. She's awesome. The counter's great. All this stuff. And yeah, she is. But at the same time, you know, I wish they would have done a little bit more for her tanking. That's just me, though. That's just me. We're going to talk about our latent abilities in a minute. Let me go to the limit burst. Magic damage 30 times with spirit scaling to all enemies, so pretty good damage there, wouldn't you say? Mitigate damage taken 35% for 3 turns to all allies. Mitigate damage taken 55% to yourself, and recover HP and MP 70% to yourself. Now, I know a lot of people out there really wanted this number to be bigger, because while she is putting out the damage, she is a damage-dealing tank. We do want that support coming from her. The people wanted that number to be 40% at least. I've been reading on the Reddit, and I understand that for sure, but it is still a pretty good thing to have to give to your whole team. She didn't have that before, but now with this upgrade, she does. That is a big change. It is going to help your team out tremendously for being able to survive a lot of stuff. So I know it's not the huge number you were hoping for, and I think they could have pulled it off and done it, but it's still very, very good. So you're very much looking forward to that. So make sure you get that LB upgrade. Looking at her 2 latent abilities, Shroud of Elements 2, available turn 1, 8 turn cooldown. Again, bringing this charm in, but that is her kit, right? She is a succubus. Increase all elemental resist 80% for 1 turn to all allies. It is a 1 turn. Increase all elemental resist 100% for 1 turn to caster. Now, this thing could be a uh-oh button when you know a huge, let's see, it's only for 1 turn. So it's not as good as the other latent abilities we just talked about with Lucius. Obviously, you use it for 1 turn, so if you know something big's coming, you want to get all that elemental resist up to take it and be good to go. 80% is a shit ton to be putting on, and 100% to yourself is also a shit ton with those big imperils coming from these hard bosses. But again, for 1 turn, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Although I know a lot of everybody has a bunch of EP. We were worried all about the the enhancement points. We have a ton of them now, and we learned that the units are going to be coming out already enhanced and getting those series boss battle things anyway. So it gives us even more of the EP points. So if you're going to be using your, possibly have this as an uh-oh button to smash if you need to. If you know something big's coming before a big threshold turn or something like that, you could pop that. And then Enchanting Boost 2, available turn 3, 6 turn cooldown. Use own LB to fill allies gauge. Then autocast next turn. Increase LB gauge 10 to 1 ally. So essentially, what this ability allows you to do is it is just an entrust. It's just an entrust. You entrust to the to another ally, but you have to wait on turn 3, and it's a 6 turn cooldown. And then also you're going to give that ally 10 more LB, which is pretty cool, but nothing too insane. It's weird. It feels like they knew Lilith was a fan favorite, and Lucius, was fringe liked, in my opinion, and so they like took it easy on Lilith, and they took Lucius, and they were just like, pump him with all the steroids that you can, make him the spookiest, strongest damage dealer ever. That's pretty much what happened here. So I'm not saying that Lilith isn't great, because people were still using her, and she does get stronger in some cases, but she's not what I think a lot of people were hoping she would be. She didn't climb to the top of the charts in tanking. She does a lot more damage now than she did before, but not enough to make me think that she's like somebody you really need to go out there and spend all your crystal on or enhance her and all that stuff. Now, Lucius, on the other hand, is quite amazing. So, guys, in total, I cannot believe they did this to all these Halloween units. If you guys love Halloween and you're okay with these Halloween units being the way they are now top tier meta damage dealers physical. We have 3 physical top damage dealers in Godria, Carton, and Lucius now. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you're having a great one. Be careful out there trick-or-treating or getting into parties, boozing it up. Just be careful. Don't drink and drive, all that stuff. Have a good day, though, and have some fun. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about this and what kind of changes you would have liked to see Lilith get, because I think there are a lot of them that could have been changed. Subscribe for future content. Check me out on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt. You can watch me live. Like right now, I would be live on that channel. You guys would be talking to me. I'd be like, oh, hey, Eric, what's going on? Dude. It'd be cool. We can can talk. And then just hang around for more content, guys. I really appreciate you sticking with me for so long, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.